Good evening, everyone. Adequate notice of this meeting was provided by sending such notice to the Asbury Park Press, the Middletown Patch, and the Middletown Township Public School District website, and the posting of such notice at the August T. Minor administrative offices in each elementary, middle, and secondary school in the district. Roll call.
Mrs. Caminetti. Mr. Fitzgerald.
Here.
Mrs. Minuis.
Here.
Mrs. Golaski.
Here.
Mr. Safarowski.
Here.
Mr. Tolt.
Here.
Mrs. Wright.
Here.
Mrs. Tobacco. Mr. Capone.
Here. I now need a resolution for executive session to discuss personnel matters.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstention? See you in a little bit. Good evening, everyone. We're going to stand to a pledge with a moment of silence. Sadly, we have learned of the passing of Eileen Skolnick. Eileen taught in the district for many years at both the middle and high school levels. She then worked for several years as an administrator before retiring in 2007. Our deepest condolences to the Skolnick family. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. Let's start this evening with our student speakers from High School North, Mr. Jason Woods. Tap on the microphone, make sure it's on. There you go. Good.
How you doing, guys? I'm Jason. I'm just here to update you guys on some things going on in North. On August 26th, we welcomed our newest Lions to High School North as we held our freshman orientation. Assistant Principal Rasmussen did a phenomenal job organizing this event, and our civic leaders, band, and cheerleaders all helped to welcome the class of 2030. I'd like to congratulate Middletown High School North's four commended National Merit Scholars, Dominic Nagel, Gary Albero, Mark Conway, and Monisha Chalismati. Back to School Night took place on Monday, September 8th, and we hosted a co-curricular expo in the Media Center, displaying our many clubs and activities. Our guidance department hosted a financial aid night webinar, and expert Matt Muehlhorn on Tuesday, September 18th. Additionally, several colleges and universities send representatives to our campus throughout the month. Our drum line was invited and participated in the Let's Beat Breast Cancer Rally on Saturday, September 20th in Red Bank. Our varsity football team had recent victories over Howe and Marlboro. Our cheerleaders in North Nation have been great leaders of amazing school spirit. Our next home game is this Friday for a Central Regional and Divisional matchup. Our cross-country program had a great start in their season opener. The night was highlighted by freshmen Emily Churong and Catherine Zavarhov going third and fourth place in their first high school races. The senior girls also held an outstanding performance, placing all four runners in the top 15. Those being Helena Zapp, third, Isabella Courtney, seventh, Mia Zawisny, 8th, and Evelyn Zawisny, 15th. The team fared well at both the Thompson Park and Bernie McGee Invitationals, and also crushed the B North Championships. Helena Zepp became the 5th fastest all-time in school history at Homedale Park, running the 5K in only 20 minutes and 14 seconds. Congratulations to our varsity and JV girls volleyball teams on their wins over Shore Regional, Point Pleasant, and Long Branch. The varsity girls shut out Freehold 2-0 in their match and also won against Asbury Park. They are currently on top of their division. Girls soccer has had big wins over Trinity Hall and RBR. They are now 6-3. Our Lions Cub preschool starts on Monday, October 6th. Mrs. Tolley and her students cannot wait to start the year in their new classroom, and our school can't wait to see our friends join us as the preschoolers really brighten the day of all in our school. Our Week of Respect will be recognized throughout the school from October 2nd to October 6th. Each day will feature a community-wide theme, purposeful announcements, and mini lessons from Mrs. Black and our student assistant counselor. We are proud to have Robert Franek, Editor-in-Chief of Princeton Review, come to North on Thursday, October 8th from 6:30 to 7:30 with his Finding Best Fit Colleges seminar for college-bound 10th through 12th graders and their families. Mr. Franek will be sharing his expert advice with regards to the college admissions process, focus on deciding factors when selecting a college, what colleges are really looking for in applicants, and the true cost of attending college, and much more. The pre-SAT will be administered to all 10th and 11th graders on October 16th. That is all, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Jason. From High School South, Ms. Jessica Cerullo. There she is.
Hi, I'm Jessica Cirillo. Thank you for being given the opportunity to speak tonight. First, I'm going to start with the academic team at Middletown South. The Middletown South academic team will be entering for the first time ever in the 29th annual New Jersey School Consumer Bowl, hosted by the New Jersey Department of Consumer Affairs. Students Patrick Dimitri, Buddy McDonald, Lily Oldershaw, Stephen Aponte, and Brandon Park will be representing the club in school. The Environmental Club will be working in partnership with Clean Ocean Act to help clean Ideal Beach October 18th from 9 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. The Middletown South Senior Council hosted a painted parking spot fundraiser, and we've raised over $3,700 during that. And that'll help offset senior class prom bids. Congratulations to Middletown South students Reed Warnerstock, Ella Crater, Chris Catisse, and Hayden Allentoff. 3 of their films were selected to be screened at this year's New Jersey School Boards in Atlantic City on October 21st. The event will showcase our students' work to over 7,000 school officials throughout New Jersey, and the screening is free, while it will also have a red carpet booth there. Congratulations to Reed Warnersbach, Ella Crater, and Ethan Castro. 2 of their films received honorable mentions at the Princeton Student Film Festival over the summer. Their films were showcased alongside local, national, and international high school and college students' work. South's Back to School Night was held on Thursday, September 25th, and was well attended by parents. The South's girls cross country team won the B North Divisional title. This is the 12th straight year that they've won this championship, which includes 79 consecutive dual meet wins. Wow, congratulations to our Lady Eagles. Senior Samantha Ciano published her first book over the summer entitled On the Escape. It's a collection of short works and drawings centered around lives of residents living in the same apartment building. Samantha, who took a college-level creative writing class at Brookdale last spring, is co-editor of the Eagle Eye, South's creative student newspaper, and an editor for Subterranean, South's literary magazine. Samantha has looked forward to publishing a book ever since she was in 5th grade at Nussbaum. You can buy her own copy of On the Escape on Amazon. Bia Tinoco is a varsity girls soccer player, and she broke the previous school record for career goals, which was 63, and continues to exceed it each game. Congrats to Bia. Lastly, on behalf of the senior class, we would like to thank Mr. Lawson and the board members for allowing us to use Brash during open block during our lunch canvas. We truly appreciate all of the effort that was put forth to make this privilege possible.
Thank you, Jessica. We're now going to turn the microphone over to Mr. Cullen to speak about the annual graduation report, Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum and Instruction.
Thank you to our amazing student speakers, and thank you to our student board members. Excellent job tonight. Just a minor technical glitch there. So it was June 18th of 2025 where we gathered in both of our high school football stadiums, and we honored the graduating class of 2025 with our band playing Pomp and Circumstance, our graduates in their caps and gowns and colored cords, and they were there because they had met requirements as outlined by the NJDOE, the New Jersey Department of Education. Foremost were assessment scores, and then secondly were their course credits. 100% of the 685 students between both of our high schools met the NJDOE's graduation assessment scores for graduation. So congratulations to them, and certainly to our staff and to our families for the support that they provide. 99.7% of the 685 students in our class of 2025 met assessment scores and course credit requirements for graduation. In accordance with the NJDOE, this evening I get to present to you on our graduation data. So this is a new requirement. So each year in September, I'll be presenting on the previous year's data, so certainly we look forward to next year's data as well. And there's certainly lots to celebrate here this evening. So our goal with this presentation is really threefold. Number one, we're going to describe the 3 different pathways that our students can travel through in order to meet the NJDOE's assessment requirements. Number 2, we're going to speak generally, but specifically about the number of students that went through each of those pathways. And then number 3, we're going to report out on the overall graduation numbers for the class of 2025. So pathway number 1, many of us probably remember this as HESPA, right? We call it the NJGPA now, or the New Jersey Graduation Proficiency Assessment. This is administered to all of our 11th grade students during the month of March. I apologize. If a student does not necessarily hit the target score as set by the NJDOE for either ELA or math, that student is scheduled to take the NJGPA again in his or her 12th grade year, and that's during the month of October. Students must attempt the NJGPA in order to open up the other pathways for assessment graduation requirements. Our pathway number 1 performance data for the class of 2025 is as follows. 505 of our students achieved at or above the ELA target score. I apologize, and 381 of our students earned at or above the math target score. Graduation pathway number 2 is an alternative competency test. So for pathway number 2, if a student does not necessarily meet the target score for the NJGPA in either math or ELA, then there are other tests that could be used in its place. So these include the PSAT, which all of our 10th and 11th grade students will be taking shortly here on our campuses, the SAT, the ACT, and finally, the AccuPlacer. Our Pathway 2 performance data points for the class of 2025 are as follows. 120 of our students achieved at or above the ELA target score, and 198 students achieved at or above the math target score. Graduation assessment pathway number 3 is the portfolio appeal. If a student does not necessarily meet the NJGPA target score for ELA or math, and likewise not on one of the alternative assessments, then there is an opportunity to submit a portfolio appeal to the New Jersey Department of Education. This is an authentic appeal where students will demonstrate proficiency in the standards related to those tests for math and for ELA. Our performance data for 2025 include 2 students submitting ELA portfolios and 16 students submitting math portfolios. All of our portfolios were approved by the state of New Jersey. And lastly, there are alternative requirements for graduation based upon special education needs, okay? And the NJDOE may formally approve these. Our data points pertain to alternative requirements for graduation as specified by an IEP for the class of 2025 are 58 students for ELA and 90 students for math. So this next slide is a one-stop shop for you. So as you can see, if we look at the different pathways, if we just go down the ELA column, 505 of our students met the target score in the NJGPA for ELA. 120 of our students met the target scores in one of those alternative assessments. 2 of our students earned credit for their portfolio appeals for ELA, and 58 of our students have alternate requirements as specified by the IEP for a grand total of 685. Moving over to math, 381 of our students met those target scores on the NJGPA, 198 met the target scores on the alternative assessments, including PSAT, SAT, ACT, and the AccuPlacer. 16 of our students submitted successful portfolio appeals to the NJDOE, and 90 of our students had alternate requirements as specified by an IEP for a grand total of 685. It is important to note, and we celebrate, that 0 students were denied graduation for not meeting assessment requirements here in Middletown. 2 students did not meet overall graduation requirements, so we had a total of 683 graduates for the class of 2025. In closing, we always use our performance results to evaluate curriculum effectiveness and adjust our instructional practices. We truly believe in a growth mindset. We're always trying to get better. We preach the power of yet, and so we try to use these performance results in order to continually improve upon our current practices. Our assessment proficiency rates and our graduation rates undoubtedly supported us being recognized by the U.S. News and World Report once again as best in schools, and that is both High School North and High School South, again a testament to the community. I do recommend, if you have an opportunity, to visit our website. There is a tab on the district website that will take you to the school profiles for both North and South. It's pretty amazing the course offerings that we have here on our campuses between dual enrollment and advanced placement and the achievements of our students. So if you do have an opportunity, it speaks to the magnificence of our school, and it certainly demonstrates our commitment to excellence. As always, we celebrate that excellence, both in the community. Thank you, parents. Thank you to our staff. And certainly thank you to our students for always, as my students at North know, excellence, right? Doing your very best in every endeavor without exception. We talk about that regularly. And then the last one, we certainly look forward to pomp and circumstance in the stadiums next year when we celebrate our class of 2026. And I look forward to reporting out on their data next September. Thank you.
And now moving on to our committee reports. We're going to start with curriculum and instruction. Mr. Tully.
Thank you, Frank. I'll be brief tonight because Mr. Cullen's report and also some of Mr. Woods' updates about some important dates covered a lot of what I wanted to cover, but just to highlight, just to reiterate what Mr. Woods said, the PSAT will be administered October 16th to all 10th and 11th graders, so that's obviously important for college prep, but also its eligibility for distinguished national merit scholarships as well. And the only other thing I wanted to issue a reminder to everybody about the new Parent University Your Learning Library system is up and running on the Curriculum and Instruction tab of the district website beneath the Parent University tab. That again is now a Google form link. It is it's a Google form link that allows community members to submit their requests for the topics that they would like to be covered in the sessions that the administration will put on to inform you. So rather than the administration picking topics, we want to be more responsive to what people want. So I encourage people to go on there, fill out that form. If there are district-related topics that you'd like more education on, more explanation of, more discussion of, please submit that. I'll yield my time. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tully. Moving on to student services, Mrs. Wright.
Yes, so apologies, I'm not feeling well, so hopefully my voice doesn't go out. So we were able to look at the nursing services plan that actually detailed all the care that was provided in each school for the 2024-25 academic year, and I have to say it was quite a lot. So big thank you again to all of our student nurses and all of our schools that helped make it actually run very well. Right now, the district is encouraging staff members to participate in various professional development workshops that are all related to inclusion. Some of the offerings are All In for Inclusion, Mindset and Inclusion 101, All In for Inclusive Education and the Related Arts, and then All In for Inclusive Education Activity Arts. And right now, we do have quite a few of the educators who are signing up for these really great workshops. So looking forward to hearing more about that, as we meet in the future. Right now, our consultative visits that are being done by All In have actually begun this week. And it looks like they will be visiting 3 per school, if I'm correct, right? And they're actually going to be starting visiting the schools this week?
3 visits per school.
Okay. And the other thing that we did talk about and touched on, but there will be more to come on this, is that each school in the district is now beginning to develop their building-wide goals. This is something that is done every year. There is usually a common theme, and this year it is delivering differentiated instruction. So looking forward to hearing more about that.
Thank you, Ms. Wright. Going over to finance and facilities, Mrs. Doherty.
Finance Committee met on September 22nd. We discussed the items that are on the agenda for voting this evening. We have 2 transportation items on the agenda, one being for special education routes and the other one for middle school athletic routes. We are happy to say all the middle school athletics are covered by this bid, so that's good. We also have a sponsorship proposal from Alliance Orthopedic. The district has received a proposal from Alliance Orthopedics for the display of signage on the back of the new scoreboards at High School North and South stadiums. The proposed revenue is $10,000 per year for 5 school years, and our policy is anything over $5,000 for a sponsorship proposal has to be approved by the board, so it's on the agenda this evening. We also have a breakdown of our ESEA funded salaries for this year's grant. And we also have the renewal of Microsoft licenses for the district, which we renew every year. We also talked about the free breakfast initiative, and we looked at the first 15 breakfast service days so far this school year. The average breakfast meals that were served was 713 district-wide compared to last year's September's number of 167. So we've seen a good increase so far, an increase of almost 550 average breakfast meals per day. So as we talked about with this initiative, we have projected that if we could maintain, around that 700 average over the course of the year, that the projected revenue would allow us to basically be giving it would fund the breakfast for the students that we're giving for free. So the reimbursements that we get back would be exceeding the lower amount of paid revenue that we would get when we didn't have this initiative. So we're happy to say that so far that's proving to be successful. So we're going to keep monitoring that during the year. We also talked about the district every year. We are audited. We do a comprehensive annual financial report. We submit it to ASBO, which is the national, or actually it's an international association of business officials, for a review of our peers and looking at its completeness and the thoroughness of its disclosures and so forth. We submitted for a certificate of excellence in financial reporting review. We're happy to say that we did earn that honor again for this year for the report ended June 30th, 2024. We've actually received this recognition for each of our audit reports since 2011, so we've kept our streak going. The receipt of this award can be beneficial when the district's financial statements are being reviewed in relation to obtaining financing, selling bonds. It's just an overall assurance that we are doing a good job disclosing all of our finances, and there's a lot of good supporting information in there too. So, if anybody has free time, it's a good source of information. I also want to give credit to our Assistant Business Administrator, Dan Valente, and Maureen Cassiano, our accountant. They worked very hard with me on doing this report and coordinating the audit for the auditors. So we had no review comments this year from the ASBO committee, which is very impressive because they are very thorough. So that was all for finance. We also have a facilities committee meeting on September 22nd. We talked about some ongoing projects. Mr. Nassau, our Director of Facilities, gave the committee an update on the Lincroft Annex renovations and went over some before and after pictures. And, we are getting closer and closer to completion. They're making good progress, so we're excited to, see that come to fruition. We also talked about the repairs that are needed on the high school north track. There's some warranty covered repairs on the pole vault area that are going to be done in the next few weeks. We also talked about the maintenance on the high school south turf field, and that we're monitoring that to make sure that we're managing the surface of that field. It is starting to age. We did talk about that with the committee. We're going to have to be, looking at over the next few years to see what we can do to talk about eventually doing a replacement. But in the meantime, we are going to have to manage it with increased maintenance, to maintain as we go for the next few years. And we also talked about the ongoing bleacher repairs that were approved in this year's budget that are being done to the outdoor stadiums. And that's it.
Okay, great. Thank you, Ms. Doherty. Okay, now before public comment, I'm going to turn the microphone over to Mr. Duff, who is here in Mr. Burns' absence, his partner, just to make a couple of comments.
Good evening. My name is Brian Duff from our law firm of Hart & Duff. In the spirit of the beginning of the baseball playoffs, I'm pinch hitting for my partner Bill Burns tonight, so thank you for having me here. Right before public comment, I thought it'd be a nice opportunity. We do have some guidelines in the agenda, but I thought it would be helpful for everybody just to recall and recognize that the board itself recognizes the value of public comment on educational issues and the importance of allowing members of the public to express themselves, particularly on school matters of community interest. The board itself uses the public comment periods as an opportunity to listen to the concerns raised by citizens or comments or inquiries and ultimately deliberate upon them. Not necessarily to debate them at that very moment or to engage in a question and answer type of session between the public or any specific individual members of the board or administration members. In order to permit the fair and the orderly expression of such comment, the board shall provide for public comment at every public meeting. And this board actually does it twice during their meetings. And I can tell you that from other districts that we've served over the years, not all of them do. Pursuant to New Jersey law, nothing under New Jersey's law shall be construed to limit the discretion of a public body to permit, prohibit, or regulate the active participation of discourse by the public body during a meeting. Subject only to the municipal governing body or board of education being required to set aside time at each and every meeting for the public to address the body itself. The Board of Education does permit 2 public comment periods during the regularly scheduled meeting. The first we're about to have, which is the first period, and that is to address agenda items. Comments or questions at this first public comment period shall be limited to the questions or topics that are on the agenda. Each speaker, as indicated in the agenda that's published with the notice, gets 3 minutes to speak on a topic of choice. The first public comment period lasts for a duration of 30 minutes, and there's additional agenda items. And then we'll have a second public comment period that's typically toward the end of the meeting. And members of the public during that period can make comments regarding any school district meeting, any school district matter during this period. And again, any individual who chooses to speak during that time will have 3 minutes. And again, that will have a total duration for public comment of 30 minutes. Public participation shall be governed by the following rules. Come up to the podium. Please address the president with your item of interest, inquiry, or concern. Announce your name, place of residence. If you're a member of a group, please feel free to let us know. Everybody gets to talk once during their public period time. All statements we ask to simply be directed to the president. He will kind of govern the ebb and flow of the public comment period. Under New Jersey law, the board and the president specifically does have the right simply to interrupt or terminate an individual speaking if it becomes abusive or obscene. They have other rights that are available, the board does, and the president should people kind of lose sight of decorum in a public setting. The speaker should simply address from the podium. And again, just a reminder that the board does use the comment periods as an opportunity to listen to the inquiries that are raised during those periods. They deliberate on it, typically in their various committee meetings and the like. And if there's information that needs to be reported back out, it's placed on the agenda and will be addressed at future meetings. The board respectfully does request that speakers expect and understand that the board refrain from engaging in dialogue and back and forth with any one particular speaker on a given topic, except to the extent necessary merely to clarify a comment or an inquiry that's being made. Again, public comment is at the podium, and only one at a time, just basic civil decorum. And again, both the board and the members of the public themselves are asked respectfully just to maintain proper decorum at all times, make their comments in a civil manner so that there can be discourse, civil discourse on any of the topics raised. Having said that, Mr. President, you can move on to the public
Thank
comments.
you, Mr. Duff. Now moving on to public comment on agenda items only. If you wish to make a comment, please state your name, address for the record, and you have 3 minutes.
Scott McPherson, Middletown resident. I want to address the ESEA grant that is on the agenda on pages 6 and 7. Apparently a survey went out. It was only put on the website. It was not sent out via email to all parents in the town so that everyone could participate in the survey. Sent an email to the superintendent and said, hey, is this a district-wide email? Is a district-wide email going to be sent out informing stakeholders about this survey? And the response that I got was, this has been a survey we have run for as long as I've been here, which is the better part of 10 years. We have always disseminated this survey via link on our website, just as we did this year. So we got curious. I went back to my emails. Well, an email went out May 11th, 2020. Here's the survey link for the ESA grant. May 3rd, 2021. April 7th, 2022. A follow-up on April 28th, 2022. And then again on March 23rd, 2023. Why are we not emailing the community and stakeholders about the survey? It makes it look like the board, the district doesn't care to get actual input, and you're just going through the paces of sending out the survey via a link on the website. How is the public supposed to know about it? No one's looking at the website for the most part. The thought that this is the way we've always done it obviously doesn't work. We need to change this. We need to communicate with the community. And then briefly on the topic of the billboards, there should be discussion about the amount, $10,000, and the duration of the contract for 5 years. Now, I purchase billboards for my business. They're very expensive, right? So 3-month period, I mean, you're talking lots and lots and lots of money with lots of zeros. So $10,000, I don't know that that's enough. Obviously, that's for the board to decide, but there should be discussion about that and some hard thoughts about that. Thank you.
Thank you, Scott.
Good evening. My name is Ashley Stott. I'm a resident of Middletown. Item 6, the committee updates. There was no shared services update. Does that mean they have not met? You don't have to answer. Leave it there in case you want to. Okay. There are plans for shared services to meet. Item 12D, the bills list. I saw there was a really large bill for Atlantic Tomorrow's office for copies maybe for $48,000. I know if anyone's buying, you probably don't know, but I just thought I'd bring attention to it. It jumped out at me. That's kind of much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi,
Erin Torres, Middletown resident. Mr. Burns, can I ask you a clarifying question about public comment?
Sure, yeah, I'm Brian. Oh,
Hi,
it's okay.
Erin,
Hi,
nice to
it's
meet you.
okay.
I'm sorry, my
Yeah.
apologies.
It's okay.
In the past, when we've had public comment, if there's something that can be answered quickly, it usually was, if it was a yes or no answer. Is the board not giving those answers anymore?
The board certainly is free to do so if there's something that can be answered quickly. If it's more of a policy thing that involves deliberation, that I think that's where the guidelines more tailored.
Okay, so if somebody asked about if the committee had met, would that be a quick yes or no that you think they should answer?
Why is that a secret? Maybe silence says that.
If the committee met, they would have spoke about it and it would have been called out on the agenda.
Right, no, I know, I'm specifically asking about the public comment part, like, because you said that these are guidelines that have always been in place, but in every meeting that I've been to in the past year, there has been quick yes or no answers until tonight, so I was curious if that was something that could be answered quickly or not.
Like I said, it's on the agenda item. If you have any questions, you go to the agenda. That will show what meetings met for that month.
But I believe shared services was never on the board's agenda,
Correct.
so shared services never meets.
That's correct. It never meets, it hasn't met this month.
But it's never been on the actual board's agenda when shared services has met as a report.
Anything else? Any other questions?
No,
Comments?
that was my question.
Okay. Any other comments?
Yes, thank you.
Have a good night. Thank you. Anybody else wish to make a public comment on agenda item go?
Good evening, thank you all for your time, happy to be here.
What's your name for the record? I'm
Jeff
sorry.
Forshower, Middletown. I think it's agenda item 12, I thought it was B, but it was the secretary's report. Specifically as related to the pro forma balance sheet, I was looking for a line item on replenishment of capital reserves. I saw there was a change, I think it was $750, but I know that last year's budget was contingent on replenishment of that, and I was wondering when we'll see that in their account.
I don't have the information right now, but we can get back to you with that.
That'd be great, thank you.
Anybody else wish to make a public comment? Seeing no more public comments, I wish to close public comments and move on to a proclamation. This month is Alpha Delta Kappa Month. Now therefore, the Middletown Township Board of Education proclaims October 2025 as Alpha Delta Kappa Month in Middletown, New Jersey, and congratulates the organization on its 78th anniversary. Moving on to reports, I'm going to turn the microphone over to Dr. Alfo.
Thank you, everyone. First, I just want to thank everyone for a fantastic opening to our new school year. I can't believe we're at the last day of September already. The month flew by. By now, it seems that everyone has settled in and the school year is well underway. I want to thank the staff for an extremely smooth opening. It's quite a lift to get 16 buildings off the ground, and certainly all of our staff members play a really critical role in having that happen successfully. And we're looking forward to the rest of the year being a great one. Our Champions Before and After Care program is also off to a strong start. Our enrollment across the 11 elementary schools has significantly increased from last year. Several of our schools did have waiting lists, and the waiting lists were actually composed of individuals who registered either right as school began or after the school year had already started. We have consulted with Champions, and they've assured us that all the wait lists will be cleared in a timely manner as they onboard additional staff. But they certainly staffed originally to meet the enrollment need of the summer registrants. And they'll certainly work to get those wait lists cleared, and they maintain that 1-to-15 staff to student ratio. In my September community update, I shared an interest form for anyone who would be interested in potentially serving in the newly formed Superintendent's Council. There will be an elementary council and a secondary council. We just find that sometimes the issues and the situations and the discussions are different dependent on the level. So forming two councils we felt was, appropriate. The council will consist of parents, guardians, administrators, teachers, and students. Each building will have one parent and one student representative. These councils will meet 4 times per year to discuss relevant topics in the district, and the topics for discussion will be generated collaboratively by members of the council. This is very similar to how we facilitated our stakeholder engagement sessions last year, which were really successful. In the next week or so, I'll be sending out emails to those individuals who, in consultation with the building administrators, have been asked to serve on the council. We'll discuss the parent representative as well as the student representative. And our goal on the council is to have positive and productive conversations aimed at making our district the best it can be. We are still awaiting the results on the boundary analysis and building utilization study being completed. Once we receive that information, it will be reviewed by the administrative team and then the Board of Education. It will then be presented to the public by Haber and Associates. No date has been set yet for this to occur. The district and the Middletown Alliance are partnering to hold a youth wellness event. That event will take place Thursday, October 16th from 6 to 7:30 here, actually in this room. The event will host local agencies that can support our students' mental wellness during the school year. We have just received word from the NJDOE that all districts will be required to participate in the new field test for the adaptive NJSLA and adaptive NJGPA, which was one of the graduation requirements that Mr. Cullen spoke about. That test, the adaptive version, will be administered in the spring. However, all districts are required to sit for the field test. All students in grades 4 through 10 will be required to take the NJSLA field test, and all students in 11th and 12th grades will be required to take the NJGPA. The district field test dates will be November 3rd and 5th. It's that broken up week because of Teachers Convention where we have Election Day on that Tuesday and students are not in school. As a reminder, I put this in my update as well, school reports will not be provided to the district or to parents showing student results. I was just on a training actually this afternoon. The point of it is to ensure validity and reliability in the test items. And actually, this test is not adaptive at all. It's not adaptive so they can field test the questions so that the spring assessment can be adaptive. Students taking this test will be exposed to standards that are 1 grade level below where they are. So 4th graders will be exposed to 3rd grade standards, so that way they're familiar with the information. The benefit for us is that it does give our students time to adjust to the new platform, our teachers time to do a dry run, and certainly get ready for the change in the platform to Cambia in the spring. So, but I just didn't want parents to think they were going to get a school report because we won't see those either. It's not measuring student performance. Lastly, I just want to take a moment and welcome and thank our 2 new student speakers. Excellent job tonight, so thank you guys for coming. And also I want to welcome our two new student Board of Education representatives, Rashi and Jillian. Thank you. We hope you have a great experience, and we certainly appreciate you guys dedicating your time, and I'm sure what are your busy lives to come and attend our board meeting, so thank you. That's it.
Very good, Dr. Alpone, thank you. Okay, moving on to approval of meeting minutes. Need a motion to approve 10A and B.
So, second?
Discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions?
I'm going to abstain because I was absent for that meeting.
I'm going to abstain as well.
Okay, we need a motion. You got that, Ian? Yes. Motion to approve 11 Board of Education consent agenda A.
So moved. Second?
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion to approve 12A through I.
So moved. Second?
Discussion? All in favor?
Yeah, can we talk about the scoreboard sponsorships? How do we come up with that amount, $10,000?
Amy, you want to speak to that? I don't know how you,
Is that the advertising?
is that the advertising company or?
Yes, that the sponsorship promoter that the board has engaged with is the one who goes out and solicits deals on our behalf based on market rates for similar type displays, and so he is the one that brought that to the board to approve at that rate.
And why are we paying for their setup fees for?
We are only contributing toward, this is the first time we're putting signage on the back of the scoreboards. So we are contributing toward the frame that it will go in. That will remain our property, so if we get another advertiser in the future, then we won't, that's a one-time cost, and we would be able to just have them placed. They pay for the signage, they pay for what goes into the frame. We're just paying we're contributing toward the frame. We're not paying the whole cost of the sign. And then, like I said, we'll have that to reuse, as we go forward.
Motion to approve, I think that motion's already out there. Is there a second? Second, okay. All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
I'm opposed on Mr. Padula's bills on the bill list.
You have a number there or a letter or?
No, it's on the bill list.
D is the bill list.
You got it, Lily?
I have
Okay.
yeah.
I'm sure it's ready to find.
Need a motion to approve A through F. Actually, A through G,
So moved.
1 through 20 on that list, personnel.
So moved. Second.
Discussion? 22, I'm sorry, 1 through 22.
Move it again.
Okay, good. Discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? You good, Amy?
Thank you.
And now moving to old business. Does any board member have any old business they'd like to discuss?
Yes, I would. I wanted us to open the discussion on how we celebrate the student success. We went back to 2 times last year. I don't know, it's just my opinion that when the kids are achieving these goals, we should be celebrating them as they do that, not 4 months later, kind of old news by then. Is there any consideration that we could go back to doing it, as we have recognition for students, so we don't have to wait?
We did it purposely that way because we were not getting good attendance. And we were competing with so many other things on a month-to-month basis. And we actually we got a lot of positive feedback last year
Yeah,
from parents about the events.
I just feel that, and I also heard from few parents too, it's just like it's old news by the time we get to them, and if we could do it when it's happening, it might be a better experience.
Anyone else, any old business? Moving to new business. Does anyone have any new business?
I would. By law, the superintendent must be evaluated by the board every year. And that evaluation is required to be submitted by June 30th. That deadline has come and gone, and it still hasn't been done. And this is a serious lapse in our responsibilities as a board, and it's our duty to correct it. So therefore, I would like to make a motion that the Board of Education schedule and complete the superintendent's evaluation in compliance with NJSA 18A:17-20.3 to be finalized no later than our next regularly scheduled board meeting.
Absolutely. I think everybody has it, so if you'd like to fill it out, and we'll get it back. Okay, so everybody has it, so fill it out before the next meeting. Send me everybody's comments and analysis. Okay,
It's been a while, so maybe you want to resend it.
I can resend it if you like.
Information.
Yeah, sure.
And just for everybody's information, prior to June 30th, I sent the entire board evidence
Yes, that's what I'm
because it's
saying.
evidentiary.
Absolutely.
With the survey, yes, we send out.
And people didn't respond to me?
No, it got canceled.
It got canceled.
Yeah, it got
But did anybody respond before it got canceled?
No, no worries about it. Any other new business from anybody?
Yeah, I have another item. I've also moved that the Board of Education direct the administration to compile a comprehensive list of all properties owned or leased by the Board of Education, including but not limited to the schools, administrative buildings, athletic fields, vacant properties, and other facilities. And this list should be made publicly available on the district website for ease of access and transparency to the community.
We do have a report of all of our vacant properties that We had that done a few years ago, and it's the ones that are not occupied by athletic fields. So we have our schools and our campuses, but then we do have a list of the other properties that aren't occupied by that. We already have that, so.
Where is that available?
We have a report, I know we went over it with the
I'm asking for it to be
facilities
available on the website for the public to be able to access easily.
No, is it public access already?
We don't have a post on the website, no, it was shared with the facilities committee and the board when it was done. So we do have that.
Make that public access, that's fine. Any other new business?
Now, I have one other item. I'm going for it tonight. Look, our board meeting should be accessible to both the public in person and online. And right now, we're meeting in a small room that can't accommodate our community sometimes, and the live stream audio and video are poor. We can all agree to that, and that limits transparency. So I am moving that the Board of Education direct the administration to, one, evaluate and recommend relocating our regular public meetings to the auditorium or another appropriately sized venue, and two, research and present within 60 days options and costs for improving the video and audio quality of our live streams of board meetings so that the public has appropriate access, because there's times when we can go back and watch it and miss parts of the meeting, and I think we've experienced that ourselves here. So, I make that motion.
Yes, so,
I'll second it, but I'll also, in our next technology meeting, I'll bring up,
and we have technology and co-curriculum.
That's all.
Anything else?
I have some new business. I just want to thank our custodians, our teachers, our administrators. As going to back to school nights, I didn't get to all of them, I was on vacation a couple days, but the ones I went to, our buildings look great. And our teachers had the classrooms, they look tremendous. They're so bright and cheery in a lot of the buildings, you know, you want to sit down and learn with the kids. All the exciting things that they talked about at back to school night, popping in and out of different classes, was exciting, and it's the best time really to get out in the public because everybody's happy at back to school nights, and you really get to see what it is that we're working so hard on, what our teachers work so hard on, and our administrators and everybody. So I just want to thank everybody for that because I think it was great. I did, when I was there, talk to people about the breakfast program, and some of the numbers are really jumping, some of them were low, so I still think that we should advertise a little bit, you know, maybe promote it in some of the schools so that we get even more. I mean, I think the numbers were good, but in some they were really low. And everybody felt maybe because it was announced at the end of the summer, people were busy, they weren't paying attention. But I'm sure by now they're catching on that kids are getting free lunch, but I don't think we should give up with the advertising of it. I think we need to push it a little bit further. And,
Joan,
yeah.
I do know that High School South and Nutswamp in their newsletter, they do advertise that.
Right.
So that's good.
But not everybody is, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think if we do a district-wide thing, because I did talk to someone at Nutswamp about it too, and everybody was excited. I think the offerings are good. I think the offerings in the high school are good. I think once more high school kids get that idea, maybe they'll get there a little bit earlier and have a nice hot breakfast, because the offerings really are good. So I was glad to see that. And I just hope everybody has a great school year, because it looks like there's a lot of positive things going on in our schools.
Very good. All right, we're going to move on from the new business and go to public comment on non-agenda items. Whoever wishes to make a comment, please state your name and address the record.
Hello, my name is Melissa Callow. And before I start, I would like to say hello to all of the board members, from Board President Capone, Board Vice President Jacqueline Tobacco, Leonora Caminiti, Joan Minuez, Katerina Skolaski, Gary Toll, Deborah Wright, lastly, Joseph Fitzgerald and Mark Sokorowski. I think that something that has become very lost on this board and this town is that we can't just be apolitical, because none of this is apolitical. You have all chosen political sides, and some of you are more vocal about them than others, but we can all see, we can all read. We have Twitter. But there are other issues here, like the fact that every time something happens, you say, oh, well, they dropped the ball back then, they dropped the ball here. And none of you seem to be able to say, okay, well, then we're gonna pick it up and do better. You talk about closing schools, you talk about consolidation, and then you go around and you say, oh, look how great we're doing. Look how smart these kids are. If you want them to remain smart, remain intelligent, ask questions, be curious, then you can't just keep on cutting stuff and making things smaller. It's just going to make things worse. It's going to increase crime rates. It's going to lower education. And it's getting to be ridiculous. And also, I would like to say that this isn't a situation where you're going out for politicking. This isn't to shake hands, kiss babies. And it's also not for people who are on this board to step towards somebody and intimidate them. I really, really appreciated Ms. Minuez's words, and I think that not enough of you have. And I also will give regard to Ms. Jessica Alfone. I personally think that you're getting railroaded and thrown under the bus for the mistakes of very specific people. And I truly apologize to you for that. But from now on, we need to stop acting like this isn't about politics. This is politics. It's always going to be politics.
Ma'am, just direct your comments to me. I'm sorry. You have 10 seconds if you can just wrap up. Thank you.
All right, then. Let's see. Last names mean something. Anybody remember the last name Capone? Last name Tobacco?
Hey,
I rest my case.
thank
Have a
you.
good night, boys.
You too. Thank you. Would anybody else wish to make a public comment?
Good evening, Mr. Pone. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, I guess it is. Good evening, Mr. Pone. I'm Bernie Doss. I live in Middletown. I've got 3 students in Middletown schools. If you haven't already, I encourage you to review the Middletown Planning Board master plan and all the redevelopment plans that are floating around from Campbell's Junction to the Route 36 corridor. What's going on in Belford, and of course it's going over by exit 109. So the master plan draft came out on the 18th. I had a chance to read it today. I think what's most noteworthy is that it's forecasting another 1,000 residential units to come online soon. That's in the pipeline, that's approved, pending, or under construction, right? So multi-family development is going to bring families and students. I know sometimes that's a little bit dismissed, like single-family homes are really where student populations are driven from, but I think if you ran a back-of-the-envelope demographics just on Atlantic Point, which used to be the Thousand Oaks over in the Navesink section, you'll find that they push a lot of students into the school system, and those are apartments. So as we add apartments, 1,000 of them in the next 5 years, I think we're going to boost up our student enrollment, which is trending up. So I don't want to dismiss that student enrollment over the last decade has gone down. It has, but over the last 5 years, elementary enrollment has increased. And I believe it increased again this year. I haven't seen any published data yet, but anecdotally, it's up for probably the 4th or 5th year in a row. So I need that to be monitored, in coordination with the Ross Haber demographics. And I want you to be aware, and this is for the administrators and for the parents, pilot programs. This doesn't have to be a yes or no. Just nod your head if you know what a pilot is. Okay, good. So, payment in lieu of taxes is basically going to steal revenue from you folks, right? You're not going to have money for teachers. And Deb, I think you're in the Belford area, just not? Okay. So that PSE&G property that's been an eyesore next to KinderCare, it's got to get redeveloped. Nobody's going to argue that, right? Except for maybe the neighbors that live adjacent to it that are fine with it or whatever. But That's pushing revenue into the schools currently and sending no students. That could possibly get redeveloped into 10, 20 apartments, and then not send money into the school district, but send children. Now multiply that down, each property on Highway 36, everything in Campbell Junction, and everything that they're labeling as mixed use is a euphemism for multifamily.
Not to cut you off 10 more seconds.
All right, so the master plan suggests that you monitor this as they come online. I suggest you get out in front of it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Erin Torres, Middletown. Mr. Duff, I have another clarifying question. There were a number of motions that were made and seconded but weren't voted on. Is that going to happen after public comment, or does that happen while motions are made?
Secretary. Were there any
The only motion that I recorded was on the superintendent evaluation. The items that Mr. Sokorowski talked about, new business, they weren't motions, but they were new business and directives for the administration, which the board wouldn't need to vote on. We can certainly carry that out.
Okay, it was just last clarify.
That's a fair question, thank you.
It was, right? The one
I
was
took the
seconded.
technology piece.
Got it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Seeing no other comments, I wish to, oh, there you go.
Good evening, Kristen Rooney, Middletown, New Jersey. I guess through our research, we have learned that all the committees that you all sit on, for the most part, keep minutes. It's just surprising to us that it seems that Shared Services is the only committee that doesn't seem to have meeting minutes recorded from June of 2024 through August of 2025. And I guess we confirmed tonight that there hasn't been a Shared Services meeting because it wasn't on any agenda in any recent meeting. We know the meetings are happening because we've heard references to them, especially in one of the April meetings when we talked about the mayor offering to pay half of the Class 3 officers and buy a piece of land. So we know these meetings are happening. And so to us, it seems like it's an important committee as it faces the township. And in light of what Mr. Doss just said about all the development that's going on and the potential loss of the school due to pilot programs, it just seems to the public that minutes might be nice and more frequent meetings of a committee like that that has such a big impact on what we're doing here. Thank you.
Again, Scott McPherson, Middletown resident. At one of the past recent board meetings, Ms. Doherty had spoken about the long-range facility plans and that it was being discussed. And I believe that it was supposed to be reviewed sometime in around about April of this year, because it's more than 5 years old at this point. So it'd be good for the public to know what's going on with the long-range facility plans, where we're at with it, where are we with it in the renewal process. And then briefly touching back on the ESEA survey, one thing I forgot to point out was the responses and why I brought up this point of it should have been sent out to the parents via email. We're communicating them in a community newsletter every month. We're communicating other information throughout the district through an email. People are using their emails all the time to communicate. This is something that should have been sent through an email. There was 464 responses. We have 9,000 students in this district, okay? So using 9,000 students, 464, that's about 5.1%. And look, I know that there's siblings in the district, so there's less families than 9,000, but still, it should have been pushed out. And one of the interesting things, and I don't know if it's just the way it's recorded, but the participation from Board of Education members was 0. Now, I don't know, I know some of you have students in the district, I don't know if you put yourself as a parent, or if there was even an option for Board of Education member, I don't remember when I filled out the survey. But if 0 board members filled out the survey because you didn't know about it, that's really, really a big issue in this district about sharing information and letting the public know what's going on. Thank you.
Hi, Jeff Warshauer again, Middletown. I just wanted to bring up the Haber study. I was under the impression the results were going to be released in September. Now I don't think there's a specific date. But if it's finished and the results are available to be made public, I think the public would benefit from those coming out sooner than later, particularly as it pertains to the election. I think the public would benefit because it has implications on strategic planning. And the public would benefit understanding how all the Board of Education candidates feel about strategic planning, particularly with regards to the Haber study. Thanks.
Thank you. Anybody else wish to make a public comment?
Hi, Katie Littlepage, Middletown. Is this video that's on YouTube, is this on the Middletown Township Public School website?
It was not as of this evening, but we've asked the IT department to put it on.
Are any of the YouTube videos from the last year on the Middletown Township Public School website? I haven't seen them there, but I've seen ones in years past. I just haven't seen, I'm just curious as to why there are video recordings of these meetings on the Middletown Township Public School website in years past, but not any from this year. Why is that?
I can answer your question because I don't know if it's there or if it's not, but we'll check it and we'll get back to you.
Okay, thank you.
It's not that, can we get them put on?
I think they were there.
Okay.
I confirm with you.
Would anybody else wish to make a public comment?
Emily Donahue, Middletown resident. Tonight was actually voted on, but I didn't want to talk before. I noticed on the transfer for funds, insurance seemed to go up quite a lot, bigger than the budget was projecting. So I think it was about 121,000 went over into transfers for insurance. I think we have talked a lot about insurance when we talk about closing schools and how, teachers were really expensive and insurance was really expensive. And insurance doesn't seem to be working in our favor sometimes. So I guess my question is just, what are we doing to ensure the fact that the benefits are actually affordable with being self-funded, as I do think they've gone up quite a few million every year. So I'm just going to implore you to actually look into benefits, make sure the fact that you are being creative in how you're shaping your benefits, just because we cannot continue to see an increase in benefits the way we have. And so I just want to make a note of the fact that you should be doing everything in your power to make sure that if we're transferring funds, there should be a great explanation behind it. Thank you.
Anyone else wish to make a public comment? You can only come up once, I'm sorry.
Unrelated to my last comment?
You can't, only once.
Okay.
Sorry. And we only have 2 minutes left for the half hour, so does anybody else wish to make a public comment for 2 minutes?
Let's
Seeing
give
no one
Kristen a
further,
chance to tell
I
another
wish
person.
to close
how
public
it's
comment
gonna
and adjourn the...
Yeah, that's,
Until all others who wish to speak.
yeah, they're all on. Yeah. Attorney, can you?
Is anybody else making a comment? Kristen, you want 2 minutes? Real quick, go ahead, 2 minutes. We only have 2 minutes left.
It's something that I had thought about, and I could probably email you too, but I know we had talked several times in the last meetings when the meetings go over and we're waiting, and we know that there's things you have to talk about that you can't talk about in front of us. So I think a few parents have called around to a lot of other towns, and it seems that there are ways to have meetings at a certain time where the public comment part or the public meeting part is at a set time, so that people who have babysitters and are trying to get here at 7:30 can come to the meeting, and then either the board meeting is before or the board meeting is after, or the board meeting starts at the beginning, pauses, and then finishes. So I know you were going to take that away and think about it, but just something to think about. Some of the other larger towns are doing it, so I think it's probably something we can consider. Thank you, appreciate it.
Thank you. And I wish to make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So, second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Opposed? Abstentions? Have a great night, everyone.